About 3-4 weeks later, the Forza is gone and it has been replaced by an Oh Wow Cycles Conductor Plus. And the reason is that the Forza was just too big. I couldn't get my leg up over the crossbar to get on the thing. It was like trying to get on a standard bicycle. I have to have a step-through configuration. And the Conductor Plus is one of many rickshaws, and it is a rickshaw. We'll see that later. I'll call that back. It doesn't look like one right now because it's not currently set up like one. But it is one of many rickshaws that has a step-through configuration. This actually was my second choice after the Forza. My concern about it was that it would be too small. Particularly that the seat would be too low and that the handlebars would be too low. But I'm looking at it right next to my e-bike, and the handlebars are at the same height as my e-bike, and the seat's actually a little higher. So I may end up needing to lower the seat. And it looks like the pedals are pretty much at the same level as the pedals on my e-bike. And it's got a semi-recumbent position, so the seat's leaned back from the pedals, whereas on the Aventon Aventura, the seat is pretty much right over the pedals. Alright, so now let's look at how this thing is going to roll out of here. I'm getting ready to ride this thing to Carmel to have a professional look it over, so one of the things I want to do is make sure that I have everything with me. The so-called secret compartment of this thing, which people who don't watch YouTube videos will not be familiar with, is large enough for me to put my laptop in, which means that I can use this as a commuter and put my laptop in here. Right now for this ride, I've got the battery chargers in here because once I get up to Carmel to the other bike shop, I'll be looking at it. I'm going to recharge the batteries. I've also got in here an extra battery for that camera right there. My air compressor in case the tires go low. And the other thing that's going to go in here is this camera itself. See you on the other side. Alright, I don't see any reason to make you wait for this. So I'm going to go ahead and show you this part of the ride. This is actually after I had traveled all the way to, almost all the way to Carmel and back. So this is about after 20 miles of riding in 20-degree or less weather. So I had heated up at this point, so I was reasonably comfortable. I'll show you little bits of the ride from my headset camera view. You can see me talking there, but you can hear what I say later on. I'll show you this from the headset view later on. I'm not going to show the entire ride up and down. I wish I had conserved my headset camera for the conversations that I had once I got back to Indianapolis, as I stopped at a couple of places, and a lot of people were really interested in this in this vehicle. So I'm going to turn it around here and ride it past. And then I'm going to do another U-turn and make use of the reverse gear. So it does look kind of odd. I look very large on top of this vehicle, but it is a massive tricycle, and it has a lot of cargo space. The reason it looks so small under me is simply because of the 20-inch tires, but it's actually reasonably comfortable. I wish the handlebars were a little bit higher. Also had an issue with it, still having the issue with it, not able to get it into 7th gear. I had a couple of bike guys look at it, and they said it would be an easy fix, but they couldn't do it because they didn't have the equipment necessary to get that massive thing off the ground. So it's going to take the tricycle guy, the specialist that I tried to bring it to that morning, his specialist tools to be able to get that trike lifted so that he can adjust the gear ratio. But other than the gears, the gear ratio not being correct, it's stuck one gear below. It's in good shape and it seems to be working fine. So I'm looking forward to once the snow gets up around here, I'll start riding this thing around again. That's probably going to be another couple of weeks before it clears. And the tripod will go in the storage compartment on the trike. Okay, so now I have my camera packed in here. I've also got some other tools packed in here just in case I have any issues before I get to the bike shop, which is Future Velo up in Carmel, which is the only bike shop that'll service any sort of e-bike. There's something preventing that from closing there. And definitely going to be plenty of room for my laptop in here, so I can use that as and I did say this Conductor Plus is a rickshaw. There it goes. Now I've got this canopy, and I'm going to see if there's a way that we can mount this thing to this e-bike here, or to this e-trike here. There we go. Just stuff that on in there. And my forget about it chain, so I can chain this thing up while I'm outside. And my tripod for my camera. And I just ran the thing over my foot, which is something I will need to be cognizant of. Let's get her unlocked to get ready to roll. Lock it down. That's the front brake, and the back brake is locked down, so I can get myself prepared to ride this thing. Yeah, that's not gonna remain stable. So where will it remain stable? I'm gonna put them back here. They're not gonna go anywhere. Let me get a sip. Now, one of the security features of this thing is that it takes keys to operate it. So, here's the key for the back battery, which I'm just going to stick in there. Then we'll turn the battery on. Let's just leave it off. Key for the front battery. Okay, now that battery should be on, right? It is not. Okay, let's try turning it that way. There we go. Okay. Looks like we're at 100% on the battery. Let me put my earmuffs on, because it's cold out here. My gloves on. Everybody said when I said I was going to ride this thing on Saturday morning, they said, it's going to be cold. Well, you know what? It gets cold in Indiana. Part of the concept of getting this thing is to be able to ride in all weather. There we go. Okay. Now, the one thing I couldn't do with the Forza, just mount the thing. And I'm up on it. Alright, now, I got the brakes in place. I got my thumb on the reverse, and the thing, the little R, is flashing on the screen, but it ain't going in reverse. Oh, maybe it can read that the brakes are on. Oh, reverse does work. Well, what do you know? Why didn't it work last time? Because the stupid monkey had the brakes on. Alright. let's start going and see what happens. Now, according to Ash, this bike is sensitive to torque. So, for me to get the full push out of it, I have to put more into it. Right now, according to this, I'm going about 5 miles an hour. Okay, and now I am on the White River Greenway, which I won't stay on for very long. In the back there, ooh, this is a little fast to take this curve. It's 12 miles an hour and it does feel a little fast. Okay. Alright, now I'm going to use the throttle again. Using the throttle is going to eat up this battery. I'd rather pedal, but hopefully we can get the gears set properly on the way back and I'll be able to pedal on the way back. Because it's about 20 some odd degrees out here. Now this place doesn't open till 10, but I gave myself plenty of time to get there because I'm taking a longer route than I took with my Aventine. If you see that video, I went up the canal towpath, but I'm not ready to take this machine on the canal towpath. I think I can safely traverse the canal towpath on this machine, but I don't feel confident enough in it yet. Whoa! I nearly tipped the thing over. I remember where those rear wheels are. I just ran over something. Alright, let's get back up on it. That was scary. Alright. If I had taken that at speed, that could have been really bad. Okay, now. This thing does have a fairly tight turning radius. Okay. I have to remember where those rear wheels are. Hey, is my headlight on?
Yeah.
Alright, thanks.
You want that on the bike?
Huh? Trike? One nice thing about this thing, when I'm waiting for the light, and I'm going to be waiting for this light, I can just sit here, hold the brakes, and wait. I don't have to put my foot on the ground like I do with a bicycle. Alright, let's see if I can get this thing through there. Should be able to go through there, but let's take it very slow. Yes. Okay, now I need to take these equally slowly. Just go on through there. Alright. Here the trail narrows a little bit, and I'm just going to coast on this downhill. I don't really want to wake up the people who live under the bridge, but there may be a way that I can bungee strap that thing down so it doesn't rattle around. Now I've got a really tight curve up here, which is going to be fun. But one of the advantages of this trike over the Forza. The Forza has a straight axle on the back, and this thing has a differential, meaning that it can turn tighter, because with the straight axle, the wheels turn at the same rate, which limits how tight the thing can turn. Whereas with the differential, these wheels, the rear wheels on this machine, turn independently. Now, so I'm able to make that turn there. Now, I'm not able to make this turn, but I'm not able to make it on my e-bike either. So I just come up here and do a nice little U-ey so I can get back on the trail. Okay, this gets fairly tight here. And it loosens up going across this bridge. Alright. Why does it feel like my rear right is a little on the soft side? I don't know. I'll stop up here once I get on the other side of this intersection and I'll check it. It may be just the way that the bike was tipped. I'm going to go ahead and go. There's nobody here, and there's people who are going to want to turn here. Alright, so I'm going to stop up here and I'm going to do a systems check. Okay, so lock that brake, and as a precaution, turn the power assist to 0. So if somehow I accidentally hit that throttle, it's not going anywhere. Alright. That tire feels fine. Let's check this one. Now, it feels fine to my hand, but I'll have him check the pressure of the tires. So I got an air pressure. Oh, well, here's one reason this thing is rattling all over the place. Somehow or other, it got up out of its groove. I may have bounced it pretty good and hard, which may have caused it to jump its groove. Let's see if I do this. Let's take the seat belt and use the seat belt to hold that thing in place. Alright. And my lock and my chain and my tripod have all migrated forward, so let's just put them all back here so they don't spill out the front of this thing. Those cup holders might be useful when the thing is stopped, but while it's in motion. Oh, that's the horn. I thought 2 hits on that was supposed to turn that light on, and I'm not getting that light to come on. Runtime 27. This seems to be giving me information. Okay, it says the headlight is on, and the headlight is on. Okay, good. Now, alright, get back up on the thing, actually step on this thing, and lift up onto the seat. Okay, about 8 miles an hour on these curves. Feels like about as fast as I can responsibly take these curves. I don't know what I just ran over there. And it's nice that this thing is so low and heavy, because having it so heavy and so low means that the center of gravity is lower than it was on that Forza.
Although it looks like the battery's starting to get sapped a little. Now my experience with batteries is between 100% and 80% takes a long time. Once it drops down below 80%, it starts to go faster and faster. And then when it gets to 40%, the 40% to 20% just zips right on out. That's my experience with my Aventon. I don't know if these batteries will function the same way. Of course, it's cold, and the cold air also causes the batteries to lose power faster. There's the Monon. It's an old railroad that has been transformed into a bike and hike trail. Oh, oh, I can definitely feel that. And unlike with the Aventon, there's nothing I can do about rough roads like that. I just have to experience them. The Aventon, I can kind of stand up and dodge around stuff because it's a bicycle. But on a tricycle, I just gotta grin and bear it. Okay, now this is gonna be an almost 180 U-turn here to get up onto the Monon. Okay, now I'm just pedaling. Oh, that's reasonably comfortable. Okay, and here's a 90-degree turn to get onto the Monon. Not bad. Hell, that not bad at all. Alright, now I am on the Monon. And here I am way up over 38th Street. You see the shadow that this trike casts. Yeah, I don't want to lower the seat much. I like the distance of the seat. The seat's a good height for me. So I do want to get the handlebars up about 4 inches if there's any way to do that. Okay, and I'm just coasting on the way down. 9-10 miles an hour feels perfectly safe on the Monon. Of course, the Monon is just a great trail. This is very big and wide and nicely paved, and this will take me all the way up to Carmel. But I'm still at 5% or at 95% looks like on the smaller battery. I haven't even engaged the larger battery yet. I feel frost in my beard. Yeah, according to this readout, I'm in 7th gear. It sure don't feel like it when I pedal. One group going the other way, and they are the problem because they're taking up the whole trail. Morning. Okay. I don't remember what street that is. Oh, that's Kessler. Yeah, Kessler's a major street too. Morning. Thank you. Oh, I can't be as close to those as I'm used to being on the bike. Clear 3 inches from the base. A little bit of root damage there. Definitely some root damage there. I remember this. I've been over this recently with the Aventon, and boy, is this trail damaged here. That's a little rough. Don't want to take that at speed. Alright, now let's just stop right here before I go any further. Lock down the brakes. Okay, the brakes are locked down. And readjust. Yeah, this thing is starting to slide off here. Looks like I'm about at 75% on the battery. And I'm just on the front battery. There's some root damage, and some more root damage. And some more root damage coming up here. Oh, this is good root damage here. There we go. You can definitely feel that root damage more on the trike than I do on a bike. Yeah, I feel that root damage on the bike. This, I think the White River splits into two forks. I'm going over one fork of it now. Either that or it bends around again, because there's another bridge. The Monon goes over the White River, just right close up here. Morning. Somebody got a little doggy there. Now watch out for these. Trail drops off on either side. Okay, this is the other fork of the White River. Morning. Coming around you. Okay, now it says 75% on the battery. Oh, root damage. They've worked on it a little bit, but root damage. Didn't feel too bad. And that took that at about 12 miles an hour there. I really have to say something for the stability of this machine. More root damage. Oh, this is going to be rough. I think they did a big repaving job of this not too recently. Maybe about 5-10 years back. They've already got root damage. And here, and again here. There we go. Okay, just using the throttle here. Alright, now. Alright, coming up between you here. coming up to the 82nd Street crossing. Well, I'm looking forward to 96th Street so I can just stop and warm up my toes. Oh! Some root damage there. Happy hour for bicyclists. Ride your bike up here and then lock it up there and get good and soused up on beer. Alright. Alright. There we go. Oh, okay. Now then. 82nd Street. And turn back north here. Oh. Okay, now I know there's some major root damage here because I went over it recently. There it is, major root damage. So let's just slow way down for this. Oh, I can definitely feel that. Oh. Oh. Can't move that slow on a bike. Alright. Let's see. I think I can go ahead and hit the throttle now. Oh. All right. Oh. Yeah, it is nippy out here. Oh, root damage. Oh. Going over fairly fast too. Not really bad, but I can definitely feel it. Okay, is this 96th Street? Up here? I don't think so. I think I got one more intersection to go. I think this is like 88th or something. 91st. This is 91st. This thing's still trying to pull up off my head here. Come on. I have to stop. So let's stop here. And lock it down. Come on, lock. This is locked. There we go. That came unlocked again. Come on. Why is this thing sliding off my head here? Let's just tuck it back behind my earmuffs. Definitely glad I got those earmuffs on. Ugh. Brr. Boy, taking my hands out of my gloves for just a second, and they cool off right fast. There we go. This car is on 91st Street. Do not stop for bicyclists. Alright, I'm going to hit the throttle again and get on up to 96th Street and take a break. Oh, I went on this seat for a while. That's not a bad seat, but My butt's still getting tired of it. After all these miles of riding here. Maybe this thing will tell me how many miles I've ridden. Brrr! I get up to 17 miles an hour. Oh wow, that battery went to run into the red like in no time at all. Well, I don't want to drain it all the way. That's why I brought the chargers with me. So I will charge it up at the 96th Street station. Oh, wow. It went from green to red in no time. Oh. I'm almost at 96th Street. It's a good thing I gave it a full charge last night. Okay, and this is how far one battery will take me, and that's why I got two batteries. Alright, I am cold. Coming the other way. Alright. I'm going to turn that off. And now this thing is just a tricycle. Oh. I didn't take all that long a break. It's already 9:19, so I have to do this. Alright, now rear battery's on. Rear battery's at 100%. This is the bigger battery. It's got a little bit more time in it. It should have. Alright, let's get back up on this thing. I don't think I'm going to leave the headlamp on this time. We'll just go. Okay. And let's go. Okay. Well, my feet did warm up a little. Alright, and on the other side of this, I think I'm in Indianapolis now. When I get to the other side of this tunnel, I'll be in Carmel. Whew. Oh, boys, burning up this battery pretty quick too. Definitely have to leave these things on the charger for a while, but I also need to be inside for a while. This street is up here. I think this is 106th. Yep. Here we are at the Carmel Clay Park, the big park of Carmel. There's exercise machines up in that, and I see people up in it on their little treadmills and other exercise machines up there in that bridge. Okay, and I think that 116th is where I'm going. And just coast down this. Oh, this tunnel's nice and warm. That's a place where I can warm up on the way back. Carmel Creek. Okay. Lots of ducks. There are a whole lot of ducks in that creek right there. There's his shop right there, and he's not there yet, is he? I don't know. We'll see. He doesn't have a car, he just has his tricycles. Yeah, I'm a little early. He doesn't open till 10. Yeah, he's not there yet. Okay. We'll just creep along here for a little while. And coast right on down off of this bridge. Brrr. I've chilled right down again. This is Carmel Drive. Wonder if there's anywhere I can juice up. So I need to juice up both these batteries now. It takes 6 hours to juice up one of these batteries. I'm gonna be up here a while. Oh. Okay, he's not here yet. Oh, what's that saying? Future Velo, now on holiday hours. Saturday by appointment only. Chris is working the beer stein booth. Alright. I should have just set the appointment Saturday by appointment only. Okay. Oh, if not, I'm just gonna have to go back to Carmel Clay Park and sit there for a few hours while I recharge my batteries. Oh, it's gonna be a long, cold ride home, and a long time before I can get him to service this thing. Now, what I can do is go over to Carmel Cyclery and see if they can figure out the gear ratio. So I think there's a problem with this front battery, because it was at 75, and then a minute later it was the redlining, and now it's refusing to charge. So it's not charging at all. This back battery hasn't taken a full charge, but I think it'll be enough to get me home. It's a more powerful battery than the front battery. But I'm worried about that front battery. We'll give it a couple. We'll give it put it on the charger when I get home. Hopefully it'll thaw out and start to charge up. But now I need to start boxing stuff up. And then it'll need to go on the charger as well, because it'll be too low to just sit for a few days. Because it's going to sit for a few days, because we're going to have some pretty deep snow here, and I can't ride this thing in snow. It's a pretty nice secret compartment. I'm glad they made it big enough to put a laptop in, because that's what's going to make this thing a viable commuter.
Okay, we're going to try again with this battery. Let's try plugging it into the charger. So, here's the charger. It's plugged in there. Now go plug it into power. This is a charger. And plug it into the charger, and the charger turns red. Okay, so I figured that it might be cold, and that might be why it wasn't taking a charge. So now it's taking a charge. We'll see. We'll let it charge for a few hours, and I'll test it. I don't want to get it all the way up to full power, because I'm not going to be able to ride for a few days because of the snow. All right, good.